Alright folks, back in the review portion of the mod. First, a couple just outstanding remarks about Novac Public Library. I enjoyed it. It was a fun mod. I had a fun time playing it. I like the characters. They're all very unique. I don't know, Shakespeare is one of the more unique characters I've met in a mod. Helen was pretty cool too. I like how that, even though she couldn't talk, you were able to communicate silently. That's something we don't see in a lot of mods. The dialogue for that is really, what's the word for it? Like smart, like intellectual. So yeah, the characters for the mod were pretty cool. Also, I know we did use the Rhino revolver by Nestor early in the mod review for the first two videos, so I just want to say for that as well, I enjoyed that. Obviously, I don't officially review weapons, but love the custom optics on that one. Pretty cool weapon. Wish it was a little more powerful, but pretty cool weapon. So, without further ado, let's get into the actual categories for Novac Public Library by Gregory Peccary. Oh, God, burped. The first thing, world space. I'll give this a 5 out of 5. It used a lot of the vanilla world space for the most part, like going and fetching the books. You were going to Black Mountain, and what was the other place we went for books? I'm drawing a blank. Black Mountain is what I'm getting right now. Anyways, yeah, the parts of the world space that were custom, the interior of the library itself, the place where you go and meet the guys, and there's all that dialogue, and the ghouls capture you. I can't for the life of me remember what the main guy's name is. They're all based off of books. Like one of them was Homer. Aristotle, that was it. So yeah, Aristotle's little base there was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. And then the custom home that they give you at the end with Roberta and the little baby mole rat, who, by the way, I am definitely fucking transporting back to my safe house because I love that little guy. So yeah, that was very cool. I thought the world space was pretty flawless. I didn't see any major problems with it other than one door that didn't really open or close. But I mean, other than that, it was perfect. So I don't see any real issues with the world space. I'll give it a 5. Lore friendliness, I'll give that a 5 as well. This is perfect. It fits right into the landscape. It takes the space of an empty building that was already sitting in Novac. I believe that might have been a train station before. I don't remember. Or maybe it was a library and they just did something with it. But yeah, really great in terms of lore friendliness. I love the idea of opening a library in the wasteland when a lot of people are probably, illiterate, but it'll serve the minority. And it'll be good for, educating people in the wasteland. It's just perfect. It fits right into the Fallout New Vegas lore. So I will give that a 5 out of 5 as well. Dialogue and voice acting. Unfortunately, this is where I'm really going to have to ding the mod. There were some voice actors that didn't apparently check their levels when they did their voice files. The thing is, it can't, when you're checking your voice acting, it can't be in the red, or else it's just going to sound really, what's the word, like tingy. It's going to sound like you're blowing someone's ear holes out. And some of the characters sounded like that. A couple of the ones that would stand outside of the library, I don't remember their names, but the guy who they had the workbench, and there was the worker, and then like the apprentice, and then there was the one guy who we went and got the books back from on the I-80, and I think his name was like DB or something. They were all 2-letter names, or at least most of them were. So some of those guys were just really in the red on their voice files, and that's no bueno. The dialogue itself wasn't bad. There were a couple of grammatical errors, and especially for a mod that focuses so intensely on reading. I mean, that just going to even draw out the grammatical errors even more. So I will give dialogue and voice acting a 3 for this mod. Just could have been a lot better. Playability, we'll give it a 4. There were some definite glitches in the mod. I don't mind weird at all. It's different, and I'm not going to dock you for different. So all of the quest triggers, like when we went on the I-88 and we're trying to get the books from, we'll just call him DB because that's what I remember his name being. Just all of the different things that happened. Obviously, the Legion attacking him wasn't the mod author's fault. That's just scripted into the game, and I just got screwed by that. But then coming back and getting triggered by the 2 different people, just a lot of triggers all at once. But I wouldn't ever dock for that. The main thing for me was, what was her name? Carolyn? Or something, Catherine. When we went into the library late in the mod review, we got attacked by that weird bitch who kept wanting to murder us. And then every time I would go to talk to Shakespeare, she would attack us. And I tried to disable her, and I couldn't even disable her for the most part. So that was a pretty major flaw. So there were a couple of slight, playability errors. And so for that reason, I would give playability a 4 instead of a 5. That's something that if this mod author is still working on this mod, which I believe he is, just little things like that can be improved and really improve the experience overall. So miscellaneous and subjective experience. This is a tough one to grade. I guess I'll give this a 4.3. I had a mostly good time with this mod. There was just a few parts, like the dialogue when you first get captured at the bookmobile. There's a lot of dialogue, and like none of it really means anything. They're just kind of taunting you. I get it that it's a way to get familiar with all the characters in that little cabin, but yeah, a lot of dialogue. But no, it was good. Like I said, pretty weird. But I don't think weird is a bad thing. I think weird's just different, and that's fine. And I can totally have fun with a weird mod. I've played on my own Alice in Wasteland, which is as weird as it gets. So I don't have a problem with that. Some of the quest markers as well. Maybe this will go back to playability. It didn't have quest markers, and the quest objectives as well were a little weird. Like there was the one where we went back to Shakespeare for the mission, and then the quest objective says, I saw that guy from 188. Here's the thing, that's not really, you can, but quest objectives are really for telling you what you're supposed to do. If they're just kind of like an inner dialogue, that's not really gonna help you figure out what you're supposed to do a lot of the time. So try to keep inner dialogue out of that if possible. Put that maybe you inscribe some notes or something and you store them in your Pip-Boy, and that's how you find out what the player's thoughts and feelings on this whole thing are, or maybe you put it into the dialogue. But yeah, the quest objectives are not the place to do that. So yeah, maybe also make a little bit more clear why we have such a fixation on Helen. I didn't get that at all. We're in the middle of these, book missions, and then, hey, can I talk to Helen and take her to see the dinosaur? I don't know, that just kind of comes out of left field, and it kind of makes it seem like you have a romantic interest in her, which is just, I don't know, kind of, it feels predatory. I don't know why, but it feels predatory to me. I was a little uncomfortable with it. So, yeah, just make it a little more clear why that relationship is really flourishing there in the first place. But yeah, overall the mod's good, and I really enjoyed playing it. So the mod gets a 4.3 rating if you've been counting. So yeah, I think that with a couple of updates, and as I said before, I do believe that the mod author is still working on this mod. I think it could be really perfected and made a lot better, and the user experience could be better. I know that I get the novelty of not having quest markers and stuff, but if I could make a couple of suggestions, things that you can easily update, because obviously going back and doing all the voice acting over again is not going to be something that at this stage in the mod, when it's been out for so long, you're going to do. But add quest markers. I think people will really enjoy that a lot more. Make the quest objectives different. Don't make them an inner monologue. Make them so that they tell you exactly where to go and exactly what to do. Make them a guide, just so that the player doesn't get lost. And other than that, I mean, you could cut down on some of the superfluous dialogue, but as I said, I don't think you're really going to do that at this stage. Plus, some people might enjoy that. This mod's very heavily scripted, and that's cool. That part of it wasn't for me, but, a lot of people do enjoy that. And it's not that I didn't like the scripting in it, it's just that there was just that one place that just had so much dialogue. And at that point, you're already confused because you've been kidnapped and you don't know what's going on, and then there's just a attack of dialogue. And then the only other thing is just whatever that bug was that made that girl attack me. Maybe that doesn't happen to anybody else. I don't know why that only happened to me. Might want to explore why that happened. Or if that had happened to anybody else, you might want to check that out and see. why that's happening. So yeah, just that minor stuff, and then fix the few of the grammatical errors, and that's it. So other than that, this mod was pretty good. So yeah, I really enjoyed Novac Public Library by Gregory Peccary. It's a good mod, still out on the Nexus, so check it out. And also check out the Rhino Revolver by Nestor. So thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate it, and we will see you next time.